Well, we're back from dinner. So I did a little bit after dinner. I only have this side left to do, and then we're going to put the tissue on the elevator stabilizers. I want to talk about this channel. This channel is for entertainment. My opinions are my opinions. Do with them as you wish. This is in reference to a statement I made about oil. Hey, if you want to use synthetic oil, knock yourself out. I don't. So, that's enough of that. This channel is for educational and entertainment purposes. I'm not going to get into a pissing match over stupid stuff. So, what I'm doing here is I'm laying tissue on top of these. Boy, this country has just gone to shit. On top of my wing flat fillets, or whatever you call them. So we'll just cut us a piece. Stick it in there. Better put some dope on it so we get some stickum. Okay. There's some wrinkles and stuff in this. It's going to take some sanding, but I knew that was inevitable. But with tissue and dope, you can get all those. You won't see not a one. Like there's a wrinkle here and a wrinkle there. Once this hardens up and I hit it with 320, it's gone. Of course, I don't use primer, so I'm going to get this fillet here. I don't give advice on anything on this channel other than model airplanes. And I don't even tell all of that because I don't want to get sued, because common sense is lacking in this country. Because there are some tricks that I know about finishing that I can't tell you. I'll tell you in person if you see me at the Nats. That way I have plausible deniability. Using this stuff is these chemicals, kind of using my, I use my bare hands. I don't use a mask. All these things are, not the correct way to do stuff. That's just how I do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You just do as you wish. That's why once in a while you'll get an advisory. If you're a young kid, I didn't tell you to do this. No way. I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so I'm just filling in the small spots here. I did it on this side already, and I'm filling it in over here on this side. Let's see. We'll cut a piece. It'll be easier to get in there than this big piece. A little dope on it. I'm glad some guys are getting some information out of this old world technique. You know, this stuff is not done anymore. It's all buy and fly, all monocoat, all, you know, film, foamies. Nothing's made by hand anymore. I just got done watching one of the video channels that I follow, Bad Chad, and they're building this $40 million Bugatti knockoff, and they're over an old guy's place who's a woodworker, and they're building these mahogany trim rails, trim for the doors. Steam box. He had a steam box and using the right glue, the PVAs, and that's a good channel. I mean, there's some good information on that channel. While he was sawing that mahogany, I could just smell it in my mind. Because if you ever, when I was a kid, we built Dumas, whatever you want to call them, boats. And they were mahogany. Like I built a Miss Budweiser. And what other one did I build? I built a Chris Craft replica, and they were all mahogany. That was cool. That smell of that mahogany is just cool. So just like when I can smell the Aerogloss dope in my mind, I could smell that mahogany. There's another guy that I follow. I can't remember the name of his channel off the top of my head. He has a woodworking camp in Oregon, up in the mountains, and he shows kids how to make shit. It's too bad that young people are just not interested in this because you can just buy it. But when I set my airplane down, like the one on the wall there, that has gold leaf on it, pinstripe, it's light. You can't buy that. You have to make them. I suppose if you wanted to pay somebody, let's put it this way, I couldn't buy it. I couldn't afford it. You figure skilled labor, $25 an hour. Try to get some sign painter to gold leaf you just those letters like I showed you. See what he charged you for that. He ain't gonna charge you $25 for an hour's work. He's gonna charge you $500 or better. And then to figure out the guy building the thing, he's gonna charge you $25 an hour. When I was a kid, I saw those airplanes and I saw those boats at the Pomona County Fair grounds, and I really wanted one, and my dad said, you got to make them. You know, and it was just a feat that was just beyond my imagination. You have to make that. How would a guy make that? And then almost 60 years later, here I am. 58 years of building. So for the young guys watching me here, it's nothing that you're going to jump into and do a perfect job. It takes practice over and over and over again, and just try to make one thing better on every airplane. And pretty soon you'll get to the point where, hey, this is not bad. It's acceptable. And another thing I'd like to point out, when I show these mistakes on my airplane, if I didn't show you, you'd never see them. Never. So what I'm getting at is if you make a mistake on your airplane, and don't worry about it, because very few people are going to have an astute enough eye to pick out the flaw. So like I say, just don't worry about it. Well, we're going to do one more sheet. Maybe I can get the rest of this out of just one more sheet of this stuff. We use one sheet and I got 90% done. We got 9 watchers and only 1 thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Become a paid member. Help me out. Throw me a tip. Tell me to go to hell. Whatever. We got 2 sheets there. That might be enough for John. I don't know. If I get mine done in 2 sheets, it'll be enough for John. Oh boy. Okay, let's do the rudder first. I'll get that bottom spot. We can do this. We can do this. I want to do the elevators, the stabilizer, the rudder, the flaps. And I'm hoping that I can get it all in this one sheet. And then it's on to just doping and sanding. Yeah. So we'll just cut it like this. So back to the oil. If your car manufacturer recommends synthetic oil, by all means, spend that money. We certainly don't want you to void your warranty. Except I think there's a rule against that anyway. At least there was when I worked for Harley. Normally I do the bottoms first, but this don't much matter. It's already got paper on it once. I'm just trying to block out any of the buggers. That'll make the top of the fillets look nice too. Yeah. So this is going to be red, white, and blue like the Art Shaw paint scheme. So I definitely want this to really stick down well because I'm going to be putting that 3M automotive tape on it, and that stuff is super sticky. Okay, let's do the other side. Yeah, I may not get it all out of just now. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it all in one sheet. So oh man. What a scam. Come on. You know, this YouTube deal is getting to be just about as bad as my forum, where I can't even say what I want on my own forum. Too many whiners. You can't do that. Well, shit, I'm showing you how I do it. I remember when that stuff first started on the forum. You can't do that. Okay, I'll show you how I do it. I got a big problem going on with the forum now and the cPanel update. That'll take me a few 100 hours to straighten out. Man, I can't get the wrinkles out of this one. I tell you what, this globalization business, let's go back to the forum. Last night, I got to get an email about how they want to update my cPanel. I want to take everything down in the forum and start from scratch. And I don't want that. I said, well, that's the only way it's going to work. Okay, well, then we'll leave it as is. Oh, you can't do that. I'm sick of the updates. They're spying. So I call, and where do I get? The Philippines. They don't speak damn English. You know, it's como está now, mabote. Come on, give me a break. Says, oh, we have no control over where their call is routed. I just said, look, I got control over where the server's routed. As soon as I can get this straightened out, we're looking for a new home. 16 years with this company, and they want to jerk me around. I got enough problems without any other BS going on. You guys remember the growing pains that I had in Stunt hanger coating the darn thing. The thousands of hours for no money. Yeah, ain't getting rich on this. I know some of them YouTuber guys are making big money. But because we're such a small niche, nobody's interested in. Not doing very well on advertising or any of that business. So, one day at a time, pick it up, and try to keep going. Well, I got it on there good enough, so that'll work. Online. So you saw how just quick I took that block and knocked the edge off. We'll leave that on there until it, well, matter of fact, it won't even matter. Let's tuck it down like so. This papering business is, it's pretty crude, actually. It's, you don't have to be precise. It doesn't have, just has to be close enough. Now this is going to be difficult because it's a super compound shape. It's going all kinds of different ways. Now, one of the big things is, if you put paper on one side, make sure that you put paper on the other side. You put one coat on this side, make sure you put one coat on that side. 3, 5, very important. If you don't do that, rudder will warp over, and I mean it'll bow like you can't believe. Especially when it gets hot, because as we know, wood is a living thing, or it was living, and it seeks to find its own level, meaning that it wants to go back to where it was when it was alive. Kind of like when you die, your fingernails keep growing and your hair keeps growing because it doesn't know any better. Well, same with the wood. Okay, that laid perfectly flat. We got it all covered back there. There's a little spot here. We need a little tissue. Get one piece on that side, do the underside of the stab, and that's done. We'll be done here very shortly. I'm going to take this scrap here. And we'll just piece it together because I want to try to utilize as much of the material as I can. Okay. I think I know how I'm going to fix that problem. Delete and ban. Yep. You guys that have dealt with me for the years know I don't play games. Too old. Too ornery. Okay, that's it. Come on. Oh well, piss on it. We'll leave it like that. I think we'll pull one piece out of this for that. Let's see, it's about 3 inches tall and about that long. So we'll do this. See that? See what I mean about the grain? You can't. This is not like silk span. You can't just decide, well, I want to rip it. It don't work like that. Let's see here. I think we'll cut this off so I can get at it without a big problem. Silk span is kind of like carbon fiber. It has a grain to it, but it's not a strict grain. It's just kind of not like Jap tissue. Okay, so let's put this here. Oops. Yep, I gotta cut this down about 2 inches. 2 inches too long. That'll work right there. Oh man, look what I did. Folded this back on itself. Now it'll be an impossibility to get it unwound. Come on. We got it. Come on. Man, I wonder what time it is. It says 9. That means it's 8 o'clock here, I think. Check my watch. It's 8 o'clock here. I might be able to make it. Yep, 8 o'clock. Otherwise, we ain't gonna go too far. Got a call from Bob Zambelli today. He was bored driving home. In his Ferrari, I'm sure. That Ferrari's a cool car. The only problem is it has Amel carburetors on it. Lucas Electronics, what junk. Maybe it has Weber carburetors, but I know it has Lucas Electronics. Because I looked at that and went, holy moly, the Prince of Darkness. You wouldn't want Lucas making refrigerator electronics. Now somebody will whine about that, I'm sure. We had, when I worked for Harley, we had Magneti Morelli electronic fuel injection. It was all right, but it was open loop, and it really wasn't computing the air fuel ratio right, even though it had all the sensors in it. But when they switched over to Delphi in 2001, Delphi being, I guess, it's a General Motors product, much better setup. Of course, it went closed loop too instead of open loop, so it was reading air fuel and everything instead of just exhaust. So I'll give you a little clue about Harley Davidson too. In 1999, they had a 3/4 inch front axle. In 2000, they went to the 1-inch front axle. In 2001, they went from the Harley brakes, which was probably AMF design, which was really a better brake. They went to a Brembo style brake, but front brake pads will wear out in 1,000 miles if you use the brakes. It's terrible. We were replacing police department brakes every 1,000 miles. And them other brakes would last forever. So I think the reason why they switched the brakes is because the other brakes were too damn good. (63798-99A) was the oil filter that we used in 99 and later, or 98 and later. And the -97 part number was used. Yeah, it can get boring driving the Ferraris, you bet. Do you know Bob? He's the only guy I know with a yellow Ferrari. Supposed to be red. Supposed to be Miss Ashley red. Of course, they call it Ferrari red, but a little more Harley history for you guys who are into Harleys, and I know a lot of airplane guys are. A late model twin cam has a 37 part number in it. It also has, well, up to 2000, because after 2000, '07 is when I got out of it. But they had 49 part numbers in the top seal. The 37 part number was the keyways in the drives for oil pumps and stuff. Except in '99 they went to a gerotor oil pump instead of a gear drive oil pump. So maybe I'm incorrect. Where was that 37 part number? Man, it's been a while since I monkeyed with them. Heck, I even knew about Harman Kardon radios. Of course, master service technology, I better know something. Harley man used to be on the forum. I don't know where he's at. He probably quit flying. But when I go up to Milwaukee on Juneau Avenue for classes, I used to go and fly with him. I wonder what happened to him. We went to the park. He come and got me at the hotel. It's a funny story. There was 4 or 5 of his buddies. I had just come back from the Nats or whatever, and I didn't have a plane to fly because obviously I'm from out of town, and all that. So I go to the park and I'm watching them fly, and I said, "That's really good." He said, "You want to fly my airplane?" I said, "Sure, why not?" So I flew his airplane. I came down to 5 foot and made a turn, and it was a low pullout. It was 5 foot, and I think he about had to wipe himself. Him and his buddy says, "Do them guys really fly that low all the time?" Yeah, that low, yeah. That's when I was pretty practiced up. I don't think I'd try that. Same thing with somebody else's airplane today. But he said, "Give her a thrashing," so that's what I did. It was just a profile, so if I'd have hit the ground, I'd have had to build him a profile. But I thought that was rather nice of him to invite me, and I'm there in Milwaukee for training. Take me to the park and let me fly his airplane. When this TSA business first started, went to Milwaukee one time, I had my buck knife in my pocket. I got on the airplane, no problem. They didn't care. When I got up there, we're sitting in the hotel bar, and I reached down and I picked it. I go, "Oh crap!" And I brought this on the airplane. I gave it to the bartender, the knife. I don't want to get hassled going home. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. The best one at Hardy School is when that instructor said, "Do you know about electricity?" I said, "Why, certainly." He said, "Well, come here and show me what you know about electricity." And I grabbed that coil wire, and I grabbed his hand and hit the button, and about made him pee his pants. It was great. I didn't feel a thing. It was great. I like doing stuff like that. Of course, worked in this place, we had a spark plug tester. A little machine, you screw the spark plug in, you put the cap on it, you look in the mirror and you see that the spark plug is working. Well, if you take a thin copper wire and put it to a metal bench, and every time the guy next to you reaches down to grab a wrench, you hit that button, that's pretty funny too. And if you want to mess with somebody, you want to prank somebody, and you don't want to hurt anything, just makes a mess, take some anti-seize and put it underneath the handle of their car. They won't know they picked it up because you can't feel it. And they'll spread that shit all over the place. Yeah, maybe I better not tell any more stories like that. Somebody have a conniption over that. Yeah, I got a buck. I got another buck knife. No big deal. I think they were only about 35 bucks back then. I don't know what they are now. Okay, we need four elevators out of that. Am I going to get that? Probably not. So, oh, yeah. Yeah, most people don't know the Harley factory is on Juneau Avenue. That's one of them. One of them's in Akron, Ohio, too, the motor plant. I knew Bob, Kelly, and oh shit, now I can't. Kelly, this other kid. I just had a name on the tip of my tongue. Bob, Kelly Knievel. Anyway, Evil Knievel. He used to come into where I work, and we used to loan him motorcycle. Robbie, Kelly, and Bob. Gene Smith sat right behind me in high school, and I know you don't know who that is. And I took care of their swimming pool because my dad had a pool shop at the time. Joe Smith, look it up. World's quickest and fastest knucklehead. Vukovic lived down the street from us. Times were different. Times were way different back then. Much better. Used to like to go to a guy's house, and his name was Gretsch, and he ran drag boats. He lived in the Koliosac, and I could hear them fuel engine fire up, and I'd run down there and see what the hell's going on. Now it's just noise. Shut that shit off. Okay, we got that done. We got back when I was flying with Tom Ward and Bill Noyes and them guys at Whittier Narrows, there was a sign painter by the name of Art Thorpe, and he introduced me to Shaky Jake. And Shaky Jake and Von Dutch were buddies. Super pinstripers. That's what got me interested in those guys. As a young fella, I did work for Nagley Outdoor Advertising and Imperial Valley Sign because of those guys. And then decided that I was better suited for Harley mechanics. But I did learn from a Mexican guy how to blow neon. He was good, man. That guy was good. He could blow a neon sign, core sign. Could I do it today? Probably. It wouldn't be pretty the first few of them. Waste a lot of glass, but when you live longer than you're supposed, than 15 minutes, you better, and you pay attention to the craftsmen around you. I had this 1936 VL flathead Harley Davidson. That's a 74 45 V twins. It's a 45-degree opposed V twin flathead. Anyway, I got it from a guy in Palm Springs. I wish I still had that bike because it had an original Harley title with my name on it, 1936. Didn't have any valves. And I went into Indio to some different auto parts stores and gave them the dimensions of these valves. And that's when Tommy and I tried to break apart JB welded valves, and you can't do it. But anyway, the guy in the parts store said, "There's a tractor shop down the street, and there's an old guy down there. I bet he could fix you right up." So we went down there. I gave him the dimensions. He said, "Well, I don't have anything that's the same length, but I have the correct stem size and head size, but they're longer." Okay, well, I'll take them. So I got the 4 valves, and couldn't figure out, well, shit, how am I going to cut these valves down? Because you cannot cut valves with a hacksaw. No way. And I was a young guy at the time. And my dad was involved with a guy named, this pinball guy. And the coin-operated industry was mafia. And Jess asked me if I'd do some stuff. I said, hey, he also worked for Teledyne Industries. He took those valves and he took them to work. And I got them back and they were perfect. They came in Cosmoline from World War II. It was cool. But 36 VL flathead, all original, except for, the valves inner. You'd never see them. Wish I had that bike. But I traded it for a Honda 750. What an idiot. What an idiot. I wanted to go to Daytona. And all I had was the 36 VL at that time. And anybody knows anything about a 36 VL, it's a constant loss oil system, meaning that you're dripping oil on the ground all the time. The oil's in the one side of the fuel tank and gas is in the other. Got a little check valve and it's always dripping. Crazy Mike says, you ain't gonna make it on that thing. I said, well, what can I make it on? He said, well, Honda. So I traded to a guy, Sunshine Industries, down in El Centro. He couldn't believe it. He came up there and he saw that. Wow. They brought me a 750 Honda, back a K1 750, so back when they were new. What an idiot. I should never have done that. My dad said, you'll be sorry. I said, yeah, I guess so. I had this 1970 server car, three-wheel Highway Patrol curb marker bike too, left-hand throttle, right-hand shift. What a rickety piece of crap that was. 55 mile an hour top speed, speed wobble at over 50. Took the top of the box off and fill it full of ice and carry the beer around. Glad to get rid of that junker. Had my share of pan heads and shovel heads. Never had a knucklehead. Did have a flathead though. Had a 42, 45, 70 server car. All that good shit. All that good junk. I basically got off the motorcycles because there's two kinds of riders, ones who have crashed and ones who are going to crash. Well, I have crashed. The ground is hard. The odds are against you. I'm getting old. I don't want to hit the ground so hard it knocks me senseless, and it takes me 10 years to recover. So I sold my 2000 FLH TPI, paid the taxes on the house, and put a roof on, and had a nice day. That was the end of motorcycles. I kind of miss them. About that time, Wendy says, well, I'm going to get into them. And Wendy's 10 years older than I am. I'm not sure whether he's ever hit the ground, but once you hit the ground, you'll figure it out. It hurts. You don't heal up easy. Yep, gonna take one more sheet to do the job. We're gonna be out. Let's see, did I get that on there? No. So I got this, and then the rudder. Yep. I'll give John my last sheet. Maybe he can use it on the elevator stabilizer he's working on. But it won't be enough to do his whole thing. So it takes 3 sheets to do a fuselage and stabilizer and flaps and stuff. Sorry, John. Yeah, we ain't gonna make fillets today, I don't think, but at least I'll get this on there and I won't have to try to stink up the apartment or do it outside or do it at John's. I'll have it done. These transitions came out real good. I already put Japanese tissue over the top of these and over the top of this fillet area. You won't be able to feel that, not one bit, when it's sanded, finished. 9 and 9. You guys sleeping yet? I can't hold a crowd like them car guys, the motorcycle guys can, but if you're interested in airplanes, this is how I do it. What'd you say there, Alan? It says retracted for some reason. No need to take anything back. I ain't a snowflake. Oh, still awake. Great. I got my big boy pants on. I'd take anything. What I need to do is do an edited video. But Dan and I were talking today. You know, I got about 4,000 or 5,000 hours of video on different things on YouTube. And after I started live streaming, I haven't done any edited videos because it just takes too much time to edit them. So out of 4,000 or 5,000 hours, we might be able to edit that down to a 2-hour movie, but it would take me a year to do it. It ain't worth it for free. Just too much work. Let's put some dope on this, see what these look like. I'm gonna get some tissue on those too. I wish you were here and I could show you that there's lumps and bumps and stuff in this tissue, but it's not a problem. As soon as this dope dries hard, I'll take 320 and knock those bumps off and put another coat of dope on it, and you'll never see them. It's just part of the game. Ah, damn. Bumping around. So we got you look at this nose, it looks pretty good. Of course, I did sand it a little bit. You can see it powdering off, so that means it's pretty much drying up the sand. There's a line there where it overlapped. You can't see it, but the line is right there where it overlapped. When I put another couple coats of dope on it, that line will disappear. Then, of course, when I paint it white, remember, this is my original quart. What is dope? Cyanoacrylate. It's back in the 30s, or maybe as far back as the 20s, when they built Sopwith camels and Fokkers and all that stuff, they had to come up with a paint that was light. So they took film, 35 millimeter film, and melted it. And it's cyanoacrylate. What the hell am I talking about? Cyanoacrylate is Ca. It's no, I can't think. A lot of that going on here lately. Thank you, Mark. Wow, $50. Whew. It's acetate. What the heck is it? It's anyway, it's 35 millimeter film that's been melted. It's not cyanoacrylate because that's Ca. It's oh shoot. Anyway, it's a lacquer. Dope is really not paint, it's glue. It just has the properties of paint. Something acetate. Got it. Darn, now I can't remember. John, where are you when I need you? And I don't use man, I'm drawing a blank. I must be getting high from this stuff. Butyrate. There's butyrate and I can't think. I only use butyrate dope. I don't use the other stuff. I can't remember what it is. It's more sticky. Yes, very flammable. Very flammable. Man, I gotta go. Nitrate, that's it. Thanks, Mike. I don't use nitrate. Nitrate is stickier. Here's what nitrate's for. Okay, if you watch the Bad Chad video on him priming the car, they were talking about self-etching primer on metal, and he talked about mechanical bond and chemical bond. Well, self-etching primer is a chemical bond, and that's what nitrate is. It's for covering the canvas or the covering material, the nylon, on a metal frame. And you put that down and then apply your covering with butyrate. Remember doing the wings because of the spar. You prepare? Yes, I am preparing the wood for a better finish. Correct. Nitrocellulose. Thank you, Alan. That's exactly right. And it's film, melted film. And sometimes when I talk for a couple hours and I can't remember shit unless, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Anyway, one thing I know about is airplanes. Airplanes and Harleys. I know about those. I even know about real airplanes. I really screwed up in life by not getting my A&P license. A guy who did the same... Yeah, thanks, Alan. A guy who did the same thing that I did on the same airplanes only 10 years later is a great craftsman, and that's Dan Banjok. He was an AMS, I was an AMS. He worked on F-14s, I worked on F-14s. I also worked on A-7s, he worked on F-4s. F-4 is a flying brick. We were the ones of the first few squadrons to get F-14s. VF-1, VF-2, VF-211, VF-120, or VF-124 was a RAG squadron. Everybody goes through 124. Somewhere I still got my squadron patches. Keeps burning the start pump. What do you mean the start pump? Let me know what you mean the start pump. Maybe I can tell you what's wrong with it. I don't know what a start pump is. If it's the oil pump, it's a... Oh, ignition on, no fuel pump. Well, a lot of times, let me see, I have to think back one particular instance that I had like that. What was the cause of it? The wiring harness comes from Mexico. I can tell you that right now. And those Mexican guys down there, let's see, there was one that I had wrapped around the turn signal wire and it wouldn't find the key fob. Then I had one that the wiring harness was screwed up, key on from the ECM, and I think it's the, God, I want to say green with a purple tracer wire. I can't remember which pin it is. I might have a diagram or some notes in my desk about that problem. Ignition on and no fuel pump. It's probably in the ECM area. And it's a fat boy. ECM's underneath the seat. Yeah, look underneath the seat at the. There's a connector. Well, what am I walking over to the TV? There's a connector. It's about that wide and about that thick. It's about 1 inch by 3/4 by 4 inches. It plugs into the ECM. Unplug that. Take you wouldn't have it's a TT100 service tool, but you wouldn't have that. What could you use? You could just use a little pair of needle-nose pliers and get in there and those pins, rock them back and forth and see if there's one that's loose. Because them Mexicans did a crappy job on them. Let me hold on just a second. And the other late to the game, but what model is that? This is my rendition of a 1969 Continental XL, which is my red, white, and blue Continental. They should look pretty much the same. I'll get that in a second. Let me look in my notes here. Okay, let's look in these notes and see if I can find that issue. And I think this is chassis. Yeah, this is chassis. We don't want that one. Digital electronics. This is the one we want right here. VSC, we don't want. This is digital electronics. We don't want V-Rod. This is some service tools. That's C&L. What the hell is this book? I forgot what this one is. Pinpoint diagnostic test report. Terminal damage. Here we go. This is a digital technician report. ECM 78 terminal damage. Pin 78 terminal damage. Pin on ECM missing, replace ECM. So could be a pin on the ECM or it could be in the plug. Hopefully it's in the plug. It gives me the VINIC part number 689-689-2200C. Z-axis. So that's up and down. So this is an FLSTNI. Let me look here. Fuel pump fuse blown. Let's see, my notes along with the system relay fuel pump fuse blown. So that was an FXD CI. These seems to be a common problem. Map, mass, throttle, idle, air, engine, no, spark, vehicle speed. Yeah, pin 78. That's where I would look. You can get a fluke meter and Man, I got everything. There's nobody that knows more about Harley Davidson than me. Nobody. I mean, not. I know some stuff about Harley. Let's see. I did it for so many damn years. I can't believe I grabbed them right off the top of my head. And they've only been sitting in the drawer since 2005. This is digital technician. But there's a job I did February 8th of 2005. And it was ECM terminal damage, pin on ECM. And it was the fuel pump. It gives the VIN number. February 8th. Symptom no start. I can't believe them technicians can't find that. Of course, that's new. That's everything with today's new throwaway system. Fault system relay connections or system relay, along with system relay fuel pump fuse. Oh well, that's where I check. The old Spent More catalog. This is I have all these tools out in the garage. Everything. Kent Moore. I paid $400 for that ring. That was, let's see here. Yep, internal camshaft cover bearing diameter 1.125 inch. Cam gear shaft bushing 118. I got all these. Rocker arm bushing reamer. That was a Harley mechanic when you had to be a machinist too. Now they're just parts chasers. No problem. Glad to help. Hopefully it does help. Part of being a good mechanic is not knowing all the answers. Part of being a good mechanic is to know where to find all the answers. So that's basically the same with these model airplanes. I'm not the end all best pilot, but you know, I'm a builder. I've been building as long as these guys. But I know where to find the answers, and at least the answers that I want to know about. And now you have a place to find answers through me. Okay, right here, you see this white spot right there? That's double tissue, so we're going to sand that off. Hopefully we can get her down. What I get a kick out of about Harley Davidson, a guy who's a technician like me, you know, when you hit the key fob and it locks the motorcycle, turns the alarm on, takes me about 10 seconds to disarm that thing and drive away with it. They're not very secure. Not that I would do that. I'm just telling you that a guy who knows this shit can do that relatively easy. Put her in transport mode and see you later. Have a good day. Of course, there's even faster ways than that. So now the part of the build comes the most rewarding and the most time consuming. And that's this business of put it on, sand it off. So I got to keep painting this thin down white dope until this fuselage turns white. And it's so damn thin now, I don't know how long that's going to take. I probably should add some more white to it. Wonder if I got any. Because we don't want to add all that dope. I want to just get her done. So anywhere you see the tissue wrinkled up, just hit it with some sandpaper. I wish I'd have brought the 180 with me. All I brought with me is 320. I didn't figure I'd be doing this. I don't know what I was thinking. Brought my Tucker Special home. That way it gets it out of the apartment. I got two classic airplanes. Oh, the gentleman that asked me, what model is this? I'll show you. I don't have a picture of it here, but I have the airplane here. This model here is a bigger one of these. Except we're not putting bananas on it. And my fillets are proportionately smaller on the bigger one. My fillets on this one are about the same size as this one, and they should be huge, but I didn't want to load it up with a bunch of dope and or putty and stuff. So, and this big one will be painted exactly like this little one, with the checkerboards on the bottom, and tear it up. I'm thinking about, instead of him having a red, white, and blue helmet, putting a ball cap on him and my mustache and making him me. And I think I'm going to have two oxygen tanks. I don't know why I painted that tank silver when oxygen is green, but that's what I had. So that's what this airplane is that I'm building. Same thing. Is there anybody out there that has a PA-65 or a 61 that they'd like to sell, loan, or whatever. I'd like to put my Supermarine back in the air. And I flew that one in, I think, '05 at the Nats. Would you guys like to see the Supermarine, or have you already seen it? I got airplanes here. I got airplanes in Dayton. I got lots of airplanes. Okay, I'll show you the Supermarine. Let me get this up. Let me set this on the floor. I want to bang it up. Oh man. Set this over here. No, I can't set it there. Where can I set it? I don't have any room. I don't have any room here, and it's 10 times bigger than my shop in Dayton. I guess we'll set it here. What I need is a barn about 100 by 60 foot. This is an S6B Supermarine. And been hanging on the wall. I don't know what I was thinking, why I sold those 65s. I had them, when I first built Thunderbolts, I had 61s and 65s in it. And then I went to a PA 75, and they ended up selling the 65s. What an idiot. Wasn't thinking. But this airplane flies real good. Bob Giske, he loved it. He said, man. Yeah, those were the days as, teenagers running Busters, and what else did they have? Shoestring Buster. I can't remember what else they had. But Giske loved this airplane. He said, man, that thing flies really good. I'll show you a piece of work that I was kind of proud of. Let's see if I can remember how to take this off. It's been so long. Oh, that's right. It's right here. Yeah, Ringmaster. This it's aging. It's the paint is starting to age on it. Jim Lynch and Charlie Reeves said, how in the hell did you get that thing so damn light? Secret. Uh-oh, been on there so long. Don't want to come off. How did I get that? I haven't played with this. Ah, there they are. So long. There they are. Been hanging on the wall for 10, 15 years now. This is the plane that Whiteley, I almost crashed because Whiteley's, you got to tape the hinges. Shit, no. Taping the hinges. Man, look at all this coffee stains or something on it. Terrible. How much would you think this cow weighs? Well, I gotta get the dust out of it. Look at that. It's an Aqua Velva shave bottle fuel tank. It's plumb crazy too. But it works. It worked good. Let's see. Need something to wipe this out. And we'll put this on the scale. See if I can remember what it weighed. I know it's about a half an ounce. This is back when I really was a sander. This was carved out of one piece of wood. One piece of wood. I did join it though. I used the block and I joined it at the line right here. And I hollowed this thing and sanded the inside with 600. I mean, it's finished super smooth inside. And it weighs, it's got to be less than an ounce. I can't remember exactly what it weighs, but I was proud of it when I did it. This airplane only weighs 58 ounces. Oh, no, wait a minute, 57 ounces. This cow weighs, yeah, it's 1 ounce. I thought it was lighter. But it's painted and ready to go. But I need a PA65 to run it. Check out the cantilevered landing gear. I'll tell you a story about this. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's see, how did I do that? I took a set of Meslick gear and I split them in half because the muffler goes up here and it's running here, so you got to have the clearance for the muffler. And I bolted them onto motor mounts on the side of the fuselage that were glued to the side of the fuselage. And we took it to Butter Park on its very first flight and its very first landing. These wheels both collapsed all the way down to the wing. Broke the fuselage. That's why there's a kind of a line here, a paint line. Broke the fuselage. And I came up with this cantilever system that's 1/4-inch plywood going, and light ply, 1/4-inch light plywood going across here that holds those gears holds the motor mounts that the gears are on. And that seemed to work okay. That was a engineering feat. The simulated valve covers for the Supermarine are made out of Voodoo leading edges. Hollowed Voodoo leading edges. I'd like to fly this again, just for the hell of it. It's got a super short nose, 8 1/4. 16 or 17-inch tail, 8 1/4 nose. It's super light. That's the only way you could do it. I didn't add any. I paid the speed guy. I had 4 1-inch, the 1 1/4. That's what they were. I got them around here. 1 1/4 spinners for a speed plane on it, just so I could have the look. Barely covered the hub. But if I if I don't get this out and play with it, or give it to somebody to play with, it'll rot. I mean, it's hanging up there on the wall. It needs to be flown. I let Bob Lampione fly this, and he said that thing's a guppy on the end of the line. Yeah. It's a guppy, all right. Okay. There's what it looks like from the profile. It's a big mama. Got cobwebs all over it. I got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 10 airplanes here, and about there's quite a few in the garage, and there's some in Dayton. How many I got in Dayton? Let's see, the Tucker, the Junar, the High Roller. I need to sell some of them or do something with them. My retirement. Figure the amount of money that's in these things. Let alone the time. Time is nothing. You never get the time back, but the money is ridiculous. So we'll sand that again right there and hit it again with some dope. Yeah, I'm not gonna make fillets tonight. I'll have to do that in Dayton. I do it over Dan's house, but I don't think he'd get in the garage. I don't think my big airplane would get in the garage. So as you can see, it's starting to take shape. It's going to take a lot of sanding, a lot of painting, and a lot of time. And a dope finish is just a labor of love. How good do you want it to look? I mean, I could say, okay, great, just paint it right now and be done with it. But anybody that knows me knows that ain't going to happen. Let's see, we got a line right there. The guy that asked what I'm doing, preparing the wood. Yes, I'm preparing the wood for paint. What I did tonight is I put Japanese tissue over all the solid wood surfaces. And what that does is seal the grain. Otherwise, yeah, I could dope it and paint it without putting tissue on it, but one day in the sun, and the sun would suck that dope right into the wood, and you'd see the grain. And I like my airplanes to last more than one season sitting in the sun. The turtleneck's starting to get hard. That's a good thing. Put it on, sand it off. Put it on, sand it off. Hopefully it didn't pick up much weight. I don't see how it could. We didn't pick up but a half ounce, maybe. Maybe. I want to thank everybody for this. I want to thank Mark for the super chat. And thank you guys for the comments and the likes. First time we got more likes than we got watchers, so that's a good thing. I'm not a big channel. That turned out real nice, the nose. You know, we had the glass on there and then the tissue over the top of it. And then to fill the, grain in the glass, the tissue. It's all about sanding now. Probably it's 9:15. Probably won't get done till midnight. And I don't think you guys want to watch me sand till midnight. Sure like to get them Philistine tonight, but I just don't see how it's possible. There's a lot of sanding to do. I want to know how many airplane guys on YouTube can you go to that can give you a pinpoint diagnostic of your Harley Davidson and never even looked at it, give you the answer. And I'll bet you take it to technician, that's what it's going to be. There seemed to be a problem with that. The guys today, all the technicians today are parts changers. So you need to go to a Harley shop that the guy's at least 60 years old or better, preferably 70 or 80, and knows what a growler is, knows what dwell is. Some of the obscure things that the kids today have no clue what you're talking about. I got books in there on bearing fitment that you ask a kid today about bearing fitment. Huh? Put bearing A to bearing B and it's fitted. No. For a while there, I was one of the only guys in the area that knew how to set up a sidecar. Because you don't just put a sidecar on a motorcycle and expect it to work. I still use that inclinometer at work today. Different job, but I use it on the brake. You could use the inclinometer to align your airplane. Don't advise it, not real accurate for that, but I think the way I showed how to align this is probably the easiest way. I do have a big T-square point-to-point system, but it's a big rigmarole to set up. All those incidence meters and all that other nonsense, total BS. The only line that matters is the wing in line with the datum line. The datum line is in line with the thrust line. I'm going to have a problem there, I can see. We won't be gluing any more down with tight bond. I got split there, so I need to add some tissue. Didn't get it all covered. Mark, how many guys do you know that can say they've had their hands on motorcycle number one? What a piece of crap that thing is. But it is historic. I'll tell you how I did it. In Harley on Juneau Avenue, they have the Bob Conway smoking room. Bob Conway was this executive that worked there that liked to smoke, and they didn't allow smoking in there, so they built him his own room. It's a glass enclosure, and that's where everybody. I used to smoke, and that's where I used to go to smoke. And the guy that I told you about that I grabbed about the electrical thing is the instructor that said, "Hey, would you like to see something really cool?" I said, "Sure." Right above the Bob Conway smoking room was the archives. Now, it's not there anymore because they made a museum. It took all that crap to the museum. But they had different things. The number one, they had a 4-cylinder, looked more like an Ariel than a Harley. A 4-cylinder Harley square. Just a bunch of weird stuff. It's all in the museum now in Milwaukee anyway. They said, "Okay, we'll go up and look at number one." I said, "All right." So I got to play with number one. The weird thing was, the original building that Harley Davidson was in used to sit in the parking lot. It was a big wood pile. And one of the executives looked out the window and said, "Hey, what is that pile of crap out there in the back?" And I don't know, somebody said, "I don't know," or whatever. I said, "Well, throw it away." They threw away the original Harley factory that was all taken apart and stored in a parking lot on the back lot. They had all kind of crap there. Hundreds of cases, heads, crankshafts, all kind of junk thrown back there. Around here, I didn't own many Harley shirts. I got one Harley shirt that said, "I survived Juneau Avenue," and then it's the Harley Davidson factory shirt. I don't know where it's at. I haven't seen it in a while. Yep, they threw away the building. So that's kind of like throwing away Wilbur and Orville Wright's building. Idiots. But that's today. That's kids of today. Hey, I got silk spin or Jap tissue in my little orange slices. Well, that's 2 hours. Did 2.5 before. That's 4.5 hours. I think I've had enough of talking. I'm going to finish this up off camera. Tomorrow when I get home or back to Dayton, I'll do a live stream finishing this up. Well, no, tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow's Charles's night, so it's going to be Tuesday before I'm back again. So that's better. That'll give me a chance to get all this sanding done, unless I do it Tuesday at John's. I'm not sure whether we're going to do that or not. Depends on whether he wants to or not. But I do need one day off, that's for sure. And driving is not a day off. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much for the super chat. And we'll see you next time. See ya.